Hello everyone, this is Reyes, operator of the Bugmirror. First of all, apologies for not looking directly into the camera. I'm not a streamer and my setup is not perfectly suited for what I'm doing right now. I hope that my explanations are understandable anyway. Quite recently, I created the Bugmirror external share. If you are not aware of it yet, please see the link in the comment section below. It is a tool I created in order to help fellow testers navigate and make better use of the Starcitizen's issue council. Sadly, as the complexity of Starcitizen is quite enormous, so must be the complexity of the tools helping to get around. Therefore, I decided to create this how-to, presenting the best ways how to use the Bugmirror and explaining what it is that you are looking at. I realized this also needs to contain an explanation how and why the Bugmirror came to be to make sense. Please see the sections in the video if you want to jump somewhere and skip explanations that are not of interest to you. The Issue Council is Starcitizen's way to allow backers to report bugs they experience in-game. The name is actually ill-chosen, though, as it is not intended to document just about any issues. It is intended for bugs only. This is clarified in Starcitizen's knowledge base, but you have to find and read that to know that little detail. The link to that knowledge base entry is in the comment section below in case you would like to read it. Everyone in the Starcitizen community is grateful for any backer taking the time to write bug reports. These backers and their made experiences greatly differ from one another. They may be children, they may be grannies, and they may be located in very different parts of the world with very varying degrees of skill sets. In other words, the content of those written bug reports is all over the place. Nobody will find the same words to describe the same thing they just experienced, especially if they are not native English speakers. While sometimes this variety may prove helpful to isolate specific issues, it also means that it is quite challenging to realize which bug reports are describing the same issues, which is necessary to bundle up efforts and help tackle the task of fixing these issues. When I started to dive into this, I realized I would need a way to translate and format each issue council bug report on its own to help even the playfield. To that end, I created the Bugmirror. The Bugmirror is a Jira that I created in order to keep tabs on the issue council. Whenever a new report would arise with enough contributions to pop into my view, I would import it into the Bugmirror, adding labels to it that would help to understand what is happening inside the report. I would start out with very simple labels that would turn more elaborate over time as the filters that were filled with those labels grew in size. This proved useful for the filter contents to remain small in size and therefore easy to search and compare. For example, I started out with a label which was called MFD, as in multifunction display. As the amount of tracked issues bearing that label grew, I decided to split it up into dashboard and MFD content. As the filter MFD content blew up, I then further split it up into one label for each different MFD screen. Slowly but surely, my little Bugmirror grew into over 600 different labels and more than 750 different filters combining labels, holding about 12,000 tracked reports and growing. As it evolved, I felt the need to share it with others who are having a hard time navigating the issue council and seeing themselves facing the same hurdles I had to face back when I decided that I wanted to contribute. Jira comes with licensing costs. As those are calculated for each agent or user, this can turn very expensive very quickly. The Bugmirror external share is a Jira extension which allows me to make Jira contents accessible from outside of Jira in the form of providing web pages which may be viewed by anyone. These web pages will be populated by Jira filters, which are in turn populated by their chosen labels. That means I needed to create a way for users to understand how to find those filters, which was achieved by creating an online sheet bundling all filters together, shared to everyone who accesses the sheet. The link to this sheet is also found in the comment section below. While I try to keep it as simple and explanatory as possible, the complexity of it remains through the roof, in all honesty. I therefore hope to provide valuable guidance how to use the Bugmirror external share in the next section of this video. The Bugmirror external share sheet attempts to present all available filters in a manner that the user may hopefully find what they are looking for. Small hint right at the start, this is, in the end, nothing but an Excel sheet. That means hitting Ctrl F will open up a search field which, if set to search within Workbook, will probably take you right to where you want to be. Give it a try. Looking for an issue of a specific ship? Type its name and see where it gets you. If you are not entirely sure what you are looking for yet, or the search box did not lead you to your hoped result, you have the freedom of being much less specific about what you are hoping to find by using the predefined filter listings on the sheet. If you are scrolling down a little on the welcome page, you will find two different sets of filters there. Specialized filter groups on the left present tabs that are too complex to stand on their own. Standalone filters on the right, however, list filters that need less explanations to make sense. In order to help yourself navigate, it makes sense to read each of these filter columns at least once from top to bottom to give you an idea of what is available to you. If you find yourself looking for a specific issue, it is always best to first look through the titles of the listed standalone filters. If nothing seems to match, start the filter group next. If you want to try your luck with a text search over all bug reports that are currently documented within the Bugmirror, there is a filter called Bugmirror, all of it, in the center of the screen above the filter columns. Next, let's try to attempt to find a specific issue which we pretend to have experienced in-game to see how this translates hands-on. Let's pretend we just visited Levski and explored a little. As we were about to use the elevator at the docking port, we realized that the character sinks into the ground while stepping onto the elevator carriage. As we marvel at the invisible gap in the floor, the elevator door closes on us, displacing our character into space. Now, this is something we should report, right? However, we would really like to prevent creating duplicates if this issue already was reported before. There are several ways we could go about this using the Bugmirror external share. So first, the simplest approach. Hit Ctrl F, make sure to search within Workbook and type elevator. This is your filter. Click to open. Next thing that happens will be your chosen filter opening right in front of you. Unfortunately, this is quite a big filter. This means we should find a way to narrow down our search. On its top row, you will find a drop-down menu or search bar for each column displayed within the filter. If you have scanned the columns in the sheet earlier, you might have spotted that there are filters and therefore labels for locations in-game. It would therefore be smart to narrow down the search by choosing the appropriate location as additional label. Unfortunately, just searching for Levski will not yield any results there. Location labels always start with the system they are taking place in, so entering Nix will yield a list of possible labels to apply to your chosen filter. Once applied, the filter only displays known reports about elevators in Levski. This is a much shorter list. Now, scanning the descriptions for what happened to us is a much easier task. If you would like to have a list of possible labels to combine with your filters, it is linked in the comment section below. Now that we have found our report, we could click at the Issue Council link. It might be a good idea to click on the documentation of the Bugmirror report first though, which can be achieved by clicking anywhere else in that line. If there was any additional information on this report, it would be located right there. It might contain things like potential future duplicates, or perhaps also the information that this report you just opened might turn into a duplicate soon in the near future. It may also contain valuable hints made by staff. In this case, there is no further information to display. We have found the report to contribute to. Finding a single report is obviously not the only thing the Bugmirror may do for you. If you want to become a big-time contributor, it can be very convenient to just list all the bug reports the Bugmirror knows about the very next thing you're planning to do in-game for your next Playsession. For the sake of this example, let's pretend that we just received a new build and had an LTP restore. You therefore get to choose your starting city, and probably have a favorite vehicle you really like to move around in most of the time. In the specialized filter groups column are location filter groups. I really like to start out in area 18. I choose Locations, Stanton first. This takes me to the filter group page for Stanton. As you may have noticed when arriving on the page of this sheet, there are some filters displayed in a darker color. These filters were prepared for efficient reproductions, meaning they do not list any reports you would no longer need to contribute to. That excludes fixed reports, feedback reports, and exploits, in comparison to the usual filter configuration. These types of filters are very helpful for cities to cut down the amount of listed results in size. I click the filter and I put the resulting tab on the side. I also really like to spend my time flying around in a Pisces C8R. I therefore use the home button on the top of the screen to return to the welcome page. Click Ships and scroll down to Anvil to look for my little Pisces and click on it to open the filter. I now may start my session intending to contribute to those issues I can find closely around me. If an issue is no longer around because the report has aged out of it, I do not have this issue, may help to track and close down old issues which are no longer about. I use and update the Bugmirror every day and dearly hope it is helping you as much as it is helping me. Due to licensing costs, I am forced to do this on my own. And in all honesty, the complexity of it sometimes does my head in. If you notice any issues or errors in my little Bugmirror, I would be very grateful if you told me about it. Until you do, I will do my best to evolve this little tool further, hoping to improve on our daily bug reporting struggles. Thank you for caring and for watching this. Raise out.